Hello, I'm Dale Petrock. I had my on-shoot 1761 out to the range to do some testing of ammo. Out at the range today with my on-shoot 1761, shooting 50 yards, testing some new flags, ARA Bench Rest Unlimited targets, and we will see how it goes. It's about 90 degrees, 80% humidity today. Eley Extended Range Gen 2, and I compared it to Lapua Long Range, both kind of similar in terms of target audience. In our particular case, or my particular case, I wanted to see how well it performed between the two, given the shortage of being able to find Lapua Long Range in recent weeks. And so I thought, given their price point being pretty close at the moment to one another, I thought I'd give it a try. In my particular case, I usually start by looking at performance at 50 yards and seeing how well things progress. If they don't do well at 50 yards, it seemed unlikely that it would do much better at 100 yards or longer. Although 10x is supposed to be ideal for the 50-yard thing relative to what Eley purports. The truth is, I rarely would find that ammo that performs poorly at 50 yards will suddenly outperform in any kind of longer range kind of context. And so I started off by looking at shooting Lapua Long Range, and I will show the targets. In my particular case, you'll see that the sighters were pretty clearly able to kind of fixate and get well formed, and then shot two targets. In my particular case, for the range that it typically, the environment in which I shot today at the range, the scores for Lapua Long Range tend to be about 2,000 plus or minus 200 points on a day like that. And so that the reference point, as you see, for these particular targets from Lapua Long Range, one was 2,000 and one was 1975. So it was pretty much what I expected, and it came out pretty solidly in terms of sighters being fixed and focused. However, when I moved to the Eley and tried to get a solid picture with the sighters, there seemed to be some struggle with it being able to kind of group in the same manner. Now, it would, in occasion, kind of fixate, and you'll see, particularly in the lower sighters, where I would take a break and go shoot five, where it would put five in a particularly tight group. But in terms of working its way into being able to kind of fixate in the early stages of the shooting each target, it didn't do so well. And so it was in the 13 to 1600 range, and so that's substantially lower than Lapua Long Range. And at this point, it doesn't appear to me to be the Eley Extended Range Gen 2 appears to be something that will work for me. So in under 5 minutes, essentially, I'm kind of giving you the preview of how the two compare with one another, and that in my particular case with my rifle, in my experience with this context, that Eley Extended Range Gen 2 is not going to work for me very well.